So I had quite a nice day yesterday. Special thanks to Mike for driving and sending Ñāṇiko and Tanjitapalo on their flight to Thailand, and for their what we call dasana suksa, or visual education, experiential education. It's a very important time to send monks for the third vasa to Thailand to get that experience, and it was a lot of work during this period of time in our history to get them there. But it was definitely worth it, because I know how beneficial it was for me to go to Thailand, so I definitely want to provide that for others. And whenever undertaking kind of a mission like this, like sending monks to Thailand, or wanting to go well, wanting everything to be in place properly, I found I always, and actually this is good to do every day, because in a way every day is a new mission in the monastery, and I'll get up and do chanting in front of my shrine in my kuti, and do a string of different chants that I do, and some iti piso, and asking that the Buddha Dhamma Sangha helping things to go well, and the parami of the Kruba Ajahns helping things to go well. And things don't go well just based on our own thoughts and agendas. Things go well based on all this help that we have, all this support that we have around us. So it's usually not us that is making something go well. It's usually some other energy that's supporting us, and we have to learn how to be open to that kind of external help that we can get. And in Thai also we say Dhamma Jatsan, which means like the Dhamma looks after how it all plays out. So when we're very open like this, then everything develops this kind of magical quality. So we went and we ate at a Mexican food restaurant in Santa Rosa, and there was this feeling of a send-off for Ñāṇiko and Tanjitapalo on their big adventure in Thailand. And as soon as we sat down outside at this restaurant, then the two guys sitting at a table next to us, one had an accordion and another had a guitar, and they started playing live music. The moment we sat down, live Mexican music, like totally professional, like being at a concert. And it was I would describe it as glorious. The music sounded very glorious. And the whole time we had the meal, they were doing this live music 3 feet away from us. And just because I thought it was just two guys sitting, but then noticing, they have these instruments. And they were good enough that people were gathering and watching them and videotaping them with their cell phones. So got this feeling that it was their send-off from America, and kind of celebrating the day. Then we had to go and get a special, like a COVID test at this place in San Francisco airport. So we went to this one place where we had made an appointment, and then they said, well, they told us when we got there that rumor has it that a lot of people are being turned away at Japan, even when they're just transiting to other countries. They're being sent back to America from Japan because they don't provide the proper test at this one particular place. And even though it's the proper test, it seems like it's the proper test, it's not the proper paperwork that they can provide that has the Japanese writing on it. And so they said, it's no guarantee if we get the test there that they'll be able to make it through Japan and get to Thailand. But that upstairs in the other testing place, they do provide that, it seems. So then we quickly changed our plan and didn't go to the place where we had the reservation, and went upstairs to the international terminal area and did this other place, Go Dignity, or whatever it was called, and got the test done there. And then we had to wait for an hour. So we waited for an hour and looked at the current San Francisco International Airport Museum exhibit, which was the first motorcycles in America, actual replicas of these early motorcycles. Thought for Ñāṇiko, it's kind of his karma to be able to see those motorcycles, real motorcycles, restorations from the first 10 years of the 1900s. And we did that for an hour, and then we went back. They got their results, negative results, got all the paperwork, and then, okay, we're good. Let's go to a United Desk and just make sure, check, double check, triple check that we've got all the paperwork, everything we need with the visa and everything. And then we go to the desk and we think, okay, the COVID test, that was like the last thing. But then there was another thing, and that Thailand wants everybody to have a cell phone with a special COVID tracking app installed on it to track your whereabouts. And Tanjutapalo, Tanrakito don't have cell phones, and there's no way we could get them cell phones quickly, and I wouldn't want to have them to have cell phones anyway. So the United Desk, they were very kind to us and helped us with some possible workarounds. And to make a long story short, we each, I installed the app on my phone on behalf of Tanjutapalo, and Mike installed the app on his phone in lieu of Tanrakito, and we took screenshots of the tracking QR code and printed them out on a printer where we were staying that night in Berkeley, and they said that would be good enough, and then it turns out they didn't need it anyway, but it was just this sense of just putting forth effort, that you just have to put forth the effort, and sometimes they don't even need it, but it's just like you put forth the effort and somehow that gets you through. So every step of the way has been like this, and so now they're presumably, I haven't gotten any emails or phone calls, so they've gotten on the flight. Presumably, they've gotten on the flight from Tokyo to Bangkok now, and they'll land in Bangkok at 9 a.m. our time, which is 11 p.m. Thai time. And so, thank you to any chanting that may have been done here as well, and all the people who were hoping for this to happen. And then we've got our people on the Thailand side. We've got Nan, who will probably send photos to confirm that they land, and we'll get to see that. So I just got a lot of mudita that they get to go to Thailand despite the circumstances of what's happening right now. So we can actually achieve anything through persistence and not giving up. We could have easily just said, oh, we need this, they need cell phones, they need this special app, okay, let's give up. We could have just given up, but we decided to persist and say, well, is there some other way? Is there a workaround? Is there anything we can do? And then asking for help, not just relying on ourselves, but asking the United Desk for help. So that ability to ask energies outside of ourselves for help is a very important ability. Not just asking Buddha Dhamma Sangha for help, but asking the people at the United Counter for help as well. So that then people like to be asked for help, especially if they know what they're doing in that area, so they know what workaround you might be able to do. And so they helped us for quite a while, and it seemed enjoyable for them as well, trying to do everything, help us do everything we needed to do. And actually, also they were turning a lot of people back in Japan because they didn't have the travel insurance. So of course we had that because we had all of our ducks in a row. So the travel insurance and the wrong type of COVID test paperwork. So then they made sure to give us all that paperwork, 3 pages of paperwork, just to make sure it was all proper. So this is a good lesson for us that not to worry, and if we persist, even if we fail, at the very least we can say, well, I did everything I could. I did everything I could in order to try and succeed. So even if we fail at that point, we actually can have a sense of well-being and ease, knowing we did everything we could, and we didn't give up any step of the way. So, the reflection this morning.